Welcome, guys. I'm Mr. Lupos. I am your math teacher this semester for MDM4UV-01, Mathematics of Data Management, or a lot of people just call it data. One of the grade 12 courses, university level courses that are offered in Ontario, one of the three. Probably my favorite math course. I've taught lots of math over the years. I've taught this course many times in person and online. This version of the course is excellent. The setup is efficient, it's thorough, and it will do one of two things, or two things. It'll teach you the material that you're supposed to know in this course, which is great stuff. And secondly, maybe more importantly, it will get you ready for your next endeavors in life. So either if that's going to be at university, we're going to take a stats course, or if it's going to be out in the workforce or at college, where you use the stats that we're statistical analysis and other analysis that we're going to look at when you use that in real life. Either way, this is a very useful course. And I have that in mind as we go through the course. So this is Brightspace. So you found your way here, which is great. You're expected to be on here every day for about an hour or so. If you do that, you should have enough time to do well in this class. So basically, picture it, instead of going to a class for 75 minutes, you're in class, quote, that's air quotes, class once a day for about an hour or so. Um, the course is set up so that the announcement is in the front here. So the first announcement is our welcome to data, and the second announcement below will be is for weeks 1 and 2. So weeks 1 and 2, I know a lot of you are going to be all excited to get going with the math, but what we do is we work on orientation and we work on getting everyone used to the course, and we make sure that everyone understands how the course works and how it's set up. We also give enough time for people to drop the course. There won't be any math until after week 2 or at the end of week 2. I'll get back to you guys next week about exactly when the math will open up. So the first week, what we'll do is we'll do this orientation and these activities. The first question I'm going to get from people is, do you have to do it if you've done it before? And the answer is yes. I would like everyone to go through this to make sure that we're all on the same page here. It's not asking too much from you. It's quite straightforward. So what you do is across the top here, what you have is across the top here a bunch of things to click on. The one that we'll look at first is the content. So content's really like your textbook, or it's the crux of the course. So besides the course home here, which shows you the announcements, most of the stuff you'll be doing will be based on the content, okay? And then things that are marked will be across the top here. So let's go through here real quick. We'll talk about the course itself later, but let's talk about the structure of the course right now. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do is work through the Learning Online Student Orientation. So just click on these things here. You take a quiz, online tools, talk about discussion, and all this stuff here. So you have your time to look through all this stuff here. We're not going to be using well, we'll be using quizzes. I'll tell you that. We'll be using discussions for sure. We'll be doing assignments, and I'll get you guys to do a practice one in a bit. Quizzes, like I said, we'll be using portfolio. So when the term portfolio comes up, that's like your notes. Okay, so your portfolio is things that you want to keep for yourself. Do you need them? That's up to you. Do you think that you'd benefit from taking notes and looking back at them? Likely. How structured should those notes be? That's up to you again. What kind of notes are you going to take during this course? Are you going to write things out by hand, or are you just going to learn something and say, okay, I know it, I'm going to move on? All that stuff is up to you. Okay, so you're going to have to figure that out yourself. But one thing that I'm going to be asked is, does this get marked? No. So anytime there's the term portfolio comes up, that's for you to put some stuff into your notes and to have for yourself. I'm not going to ask to see that. If you want to get a hold of me, this message tool, we're not going to be using the pager tool. If you want to get a hold of me, what you would do is click on emails. So let's go over the orientation activities here because that includes emails. So the way you're going to get marked, and when you want to talk about marks, what's for marks? If you click up here on grades, you have a list of everything that we're doing for the whole course. Okay. So as we work our way through here, all these here will not have a dash, they'll have a mark beside them. And basically the way it works is everything that's worth whatever something's worth as far as a number goes, that's almost its weight. So right here, this thing that is out of 4 is worth double this thing out of 2. Not quite, but pretty much the same thing. We have 6 units. You can look later on, I'll show you the weight of the units. They're all about the same. The 6 units is the shortest, so it's worth a little bit less. And at the end of the course, we'll have a final assessment, which in this class consists of a big project. Okay, so it's a big project. You have tons of time to work on it. It's really good. It's awesome. Okay. It's very structured. Step 1, step 2, step 3. You work your way through. Make sure that you did it properly. If you do step 1 properly, you'll do step 2 properly all the way through. And at the end of the project, or the end of the course, you'll finish a paper that is going to be something that you can use in other courses. Not the actual paper itself, but the techniques that you're going to use are going to be things that you'll use in your future. Studies or your future in work. Okay, we got lots of time to look at that. So this is marks, and these are your marks here. Sorry. So back here to content. Oh, I clicked on the wrong thing. Content. What we're doing here, the first week, first 2 weeks, you're going to do each of these things here. So click on discussion. You click on the discussion tab up here on the top, and then you'll go down here and you'll add to the discussion. Okay, so just saying hi to each other. One thing, it's good to get to know each other, but it's also good to make sure that you understand how discussions work. Okay, so click on the discussion there, then also click on assignment. So click up here, and the first assignment is the intro assignment. So you notice these guys here, you can't click on here because they're not open for you yet. So the only thing you can click on is the intro assignment. So click on the intro assignment, go over that. It's just really all it is do you know how to use the assignment tool? Can you figure that out? That sort of thing. One thing is, I'll say this over and over again. When you upload a file to me, PDF files are the best. If you do a Word file, that's great. If you take a picture of something, that's fine. But the HEIC files, HEIC files, I think I'm getting that right. It might be HEIC. HEIC, I think the Apple iPhone default photo files are not that compatible with Brightspace. Okay, so if you are taking files, pictures that look like that, you're going to have to convert them over to PDF or to a JPEG, which isn't difficult to do. I can help you do it, but when you upload photo files, let's make sure that it's not those HEIC files. The third thing I'm going to get you to do, so discussion, assignment, quiz is the third thing. So click on quiz. Super short quiz. Just a bunch of questions, and they ask you this. It just goes through the different formats of questions, short answer, that sort of thing. Something that people get concerned about in math class is how do you type an answer in a math for a math question. In my many years of teaching this online, I've always been able to understand what someone's trying to write when they type something in. I understand that writing something by hand might be a lot easier than typing when it comes to numbers. But usually, especially in this class, usually it's not an issue. Okay, so don't worry about that either. Everything will be work out there. So if you do have concerns about the class or about anything, the best way to get a hold of me. So the last thing is email. So email here, you click over here on email. So email this guy right here. I'll add email. I think you might see email across the top. No, you don't on yours. So I will add it probably to the top. If not, you click on this message over here, this little envelope, and hit email. And then if you compose and you start to type in here, my name, that's me. Okay, so it'll pop up, and then you can send me an email here. Okay, so we'll just cancel that. And what I'd like you guys to do in the first week or two is send me an email and just to say hi, and also just so I know that you can use the email. So, where's that? Where? Nope, wrong one. Sorry. Okay, so one thing that I'm a bit of a stickler for is just protocol when it comes to email. Nothing crazy, but there's two parts to why I kind of insist, I guess, on proper protocol with emails. So things like just saying hi or hello or dear Mr. Lupos or dear whatever, just a quick hi, comma, enter, and then type what you want to talk about. That keeps everything kind of at a certain level. So what I found a few years ago was people were sending emails that were very similar to text, So I get emails that would go, dot, 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 hey, what's going on? What's seven? Uh, Two things. One, that's a bit rude. And two, most of the time I don't know what you're talking about when you go, what's number seven, that sort of thing. So if we have structure to our email, I think what that tends to do is it leads the structure to your thought kind of when you start typing your email. So if you write hi, comma, enter, you don't have to ask me how my day is every time or whatever. Like that's not that important, right? But if you do send an email that's structured like that, I can keep track of your thoughts. So if you go on something, on this, on that, what is number seven for unit one, activity four? Okay, so we refer to things. That's how kind of we refer to everything here. You'll see later on as we work through. So if I look here, I've labeled a lot of things like U1A1 is unit one, activity one, unit one, activity two, like unit four, activity four, that sort of thing. So send me the email. Keep it structured a little bit. You will be marked in this class for the way you write things. So if you are not a good writer, that's fine. What you're going to do is you should get used to using Grammarly. Okay, so Grammarly is free for everyone to use. So just click on Grammarly, open it up, take what you're going to write, throw it in there, look for corrections, spelling, grammar, that sort of thing. Make those corrections. Maybe you can work on some things. Maybe you pick up some things. If you don't, that's fine. The Grammarly will help you there. Later on, for like I said, for a big project, um, part of your mark will be how you present your work. Okay, and then if you want to click on this one right here at the course overview, you can just go over what we're looking at in this course. It's a great course. Okay, so if you look at this, you get the syllabus here. Unit one, we got introduction to probability. So we start off with probability. It's a lot of fun. Probability. We'll talk a little bit about gambling and that sort of thing because gambling is now part of our world. So we'll try to educate ourselves with that. We'll look at probability. We'll talk about where it comes up in real life, and then we talk about counting principles, which are kind of neat, permutations and combinations. How many ways can you do this? How many ways can you do that? Lots of uses for that in real life. To talk about things like algorithms. The term algorithm was something that you never heard outside of a math class 10 years ago. And now I'm sure you all know what that means. That's all kind of the same sort of thing here. It's all linked in. This is the same branch of math for that. So if you want to know what this math is used for, it's used for stats and analyzing things, but it's also used for things like setting up, like Amazon. The way Amazon became very profitable was by being very efficient in getting things to you for as little money as possible. So that sort of thing. Operations research and management science branch of math. That's also stems from data management. Okay, so it's a very different course. If you say I stink at, I wasn't very good at functions, but you know what, I'm pretty good at math and I have some good common sense. I think you'll like the class. Okay, and then after that, we move on to distributions and some of the stats stuff here, and then we work our way to the normal distribution, which is kind of cool. And then we get down to the final assessment, which is the final project. Okay, so lots of time for that. We have a long time together. Like I said, work your way through these here, get to know each other a little bit on the discussions, and then keep in touch. And send me an email if you have any questions. Otherwise, we'll get going on the math towards the end of next week and have a great start to your year and have a great start to your semester. I'm excited. Hope you are too. Thanks.